Derrick. I'm here today to show you some important tips on ladder safety. Hopefully it'll save someone's life today. There's many different reasons why we would choose a different type of ladder. That's our first decision, first step that we go about in figuring out exactly, for one, what surface we're going to do, what job we're going to perform, and what surface we're going to be to position the ladder up against or on. Today we are doing a roof inspection on this house, and the ladder that we chose was a 20-foot extension ladder here. Whenever I come up to a ladder to use it on a job, the first thing I do is I inspect the ladder. Many different things that could possibly determine a person's safety on a ladder. The first thing is the ladder rungs, which we're going to be putting most of our weight on, is very important. We want to check to make sure that there's no visual damage to any of the side rails or the sides of the rungs. The next thing is to determine if indeed these hooking mechanisms are properly lubed and have free motion, and the bolts right here that hold them in are intact. The third thing, I guess, would be the feet of the ladder are important. There is many things about the feet that have a lot of significance. On this surface here, which is concrete, of course, the main significance is, I'll show you here, is these rubber grippers in the bottom here, just like your shoes. They grip the concrete, and as you can see here, there's teeth at the bottom of each of these which don't get used on this type of surface, but they would on a ground surface, or possibly a slope of some sort, rocks, gravel. And what I would do in that circumstance is I would get on top of it, and then I would jump down a little bit to sink it down into the ground or the dirt or rocks, whatever the surface would be. But in today's application, we are going to take it and swivel these back around so it's going to grip the concrete well. The first rule in ladder safety is to determine our proper height that we're going to be stepping off the ladder onto or working on. In this one here, we got about 10 feet. There's a rule, it's called the 4-to-1 rule. And for every 4 feet of height, we are going to adjust the ladder away, the bottom of the ladder away 1 foot. So, and here's about 10 feet. So therefore, I'm kind of thinking about 2.5 feet away from the surface, which in this one, it's kind of hard to determine because of the overhang and soffit here. The other rule is, doesn't really have a name to it, but I call it the 3-foot rule, which means that wherever I'm going to be getting off the ladder, I would extend the ladder approximately 3 feet past it to do what I call a side step, which would be like this and then going around the ladder when I get up on that roof. Very critical as far as tripping hazard, or just being able to, when you're stepping on a roof, have it being a slope, to have something to grab onto, and possibly when I'm up there I could download tools to the roof. Now, in extending the ladder out, there's a few points here I'd like to make. One thing is there's a rope here, as you can see. I don't typically use a rope a whole lot until it comes to a certain point, and I can demonstrate that here. What I would do in this case is I would just raise the ladder manually to a certain length. With a 20-foot ladder, it's not so particular to use this, because the main aspect of this rope is to pull it up past a point where I wouldn't be able to reach the bottom of it. But here, I'm able to reach that top rung. But if I was going to extend this ladder past it, I would pull pull the ladder up, and it would keep extending up. One very critical thing about this is not to have your arms or your head extended in here when you're pulling this ladder up, because what could happen is it could drop and all of a sudden it could, you know, cause injury here. So I like to, you know, step on the side of it, hold on to the ladder, and then pull back like this, and, you know, use my other arm to possibly push it up too. But in this way, like I said, I would just push the ladder up manually and wouldn't even worry about the rope. But when I'm done pushing it up, I would move the rope over to a center position to stop me from having a trip hazard here. I like it right in the middle of it. Now there's another rule that I call the 3-point rule, which is it's good for balancing my body on the ladder. So therefore, I always have 3 points of contact on the ladder. So in this situation, I would have 1 foot and 2 hands. And then I would have 2 feet, 2 hands, and then when I would climb up the ladder, I would always keep 3 contacts on here. So do it nice and slow and keep yourself balanced. Now when I get to the top here, what I'll do is I will sidestep over and I'll grab on and I will go around the ladder like that and pull myself up. The one thing, depending upon, is you know, wind possibly might cause the ladder to go side to side here. So I might take a rope and I might tie it off to the gutter. In this way, it's not very windy today. Now when I get back on, I can just do it the same exact way, but reverse. Is I would have as much contact as I could and grab nice and tight on it, and then come down and keep always that 3 points of contact on there, just in case one slip or something like that. The other thing that I keep kind of critical is when I'm working, let's say if I'm going to work on this gutter here, I would keep both feet secure, and then I would either use my knees to secure myself like this, or I would actually tip my body into it and have my torso, my mid-torso, so I could actually work with my hands, but to keep myself balanced on it. The one other thing too is, this is one of the main injuries that I have seen, is people will overextend themselves and maybe even lift their foot like this, which is definitely not what you want to do, because the ladder will kick and slide sideways on it. I've seen it happen many times. So not to overextend yourself. If you cannot have that 3-point contact, and your feet stable on the ladder, you need to move the ladder over to it. So I don't go any more than arm length away, and I try to stay my whole body within this parameter right here on the ladder. So I just extend myself out there, and then if I can't reach it any farther, then I would just get down the ladder and try it over again and move the ladder to the side. The other aspect now is taking it down safely, and I would just, this is the way that I would do it with this height here, is I would just push it up and really watch out so we don't put our hands inside here or your feet, and really be careful about pinching things in there. I hope that you enjoyed our tips today for safe ladder usage.